Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where everything is awesome. But you know what's not awesome? The apocalypse. At least in real life, it's not awesome. But in the world of ice and fire, it is incredible. It's the end of the world as we know it. Yes, precious, it's the end of the world as we know it. And we do not feel fine because it's going to suck. But here to talk about this, along with me, is the man, the legend, the Viking himself, all the way from the future, Steve Kenobi.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, you're not. I just realized you're not the king of the north. You're not the true king of the north today.
No, I put that on for Sport Kings channel.
Oh, okay. So you're just Kenobi. That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to be Stannis. But in any case, it's good to see you. How's the future?
Well, it's nighttime, so it's dark and full of terrors.
Oh shit. Oh. Well, we all know who that is. And so what we're talking about today is A Song of Ice and Fire, and that encompasses the whole thing. Now, I know that the things like the Duncan Egg and the Fire and Blood, they are not a part of the larger work that we consider A Song of Ice and Fire, but I think it's fair to say that it is all connected, that it's the world of ice and fire. So,
well, it's Westeros.
Yeah.
You know, the Westeros franchise, I guess, or IP, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's more to it than the Song of Ice and Fire books now. It's a lot.
Sure. For me, the stuff that's not A Song of Ice and Fire is more fun, if you would think, is well, as long as he's not finishing it, screw him. But on the other hand, there is so much richness here. I want to make it clear that we're not alleging, I don't think anyone is, that Martin is writing a one-to-one analogy. He's not writing allegory, but he definitely is taking inspiration, not unlike what Robert Jordan did with The Wheel of Time. You definitely see that in there. And he has specifically said about historical events, obviously the anarchy, that is Dance of Dragons, and the War of the Roses, a lot of aspects, especially of Henry VII, you see. And Henry VIII, there's a lot of St. Thomas More in Ned, though that is not obviously a one-to-one analogy. So he definitely is steeped in history, particularly the English one. Like even the whole map of Westeros is England upside down, or is it Ireland upside down, or both upside down? I think it's England, the United Kingdom, rather, upside down. So
no, it's England with Ireland below.
Well, that's typical, but screwing over the Irish again, yeah. And then the whole of Essos, or Esteros, or whatever's to the east, that's kind of Europe-ish, and then geographically, of course. So they're tributes, but they obviously the execution of it. But once you start to look at the apocalyptic nature of the story, that the TV show completely distorted. Like they started it sort of right, but it went off the rails. So you have to completely forget what happened in the TV show when you're looking at the works of George R.R. Martin, because it's so different and you can't unsee the apocalyptic nature of what's happening. That even though the Game of Thrones is happening, like in the first book, Clash of Kings, all of that, there's these White Walkers coming, and there's blood magic, there's signs in the sky, everything that I recognize from what's part of my faith journey. I'm a Catholic, and so when there's certain things from the book of Revelation that we're going to go into, it's like, oh yeah, that's totally, Lucifer, that's totally the great red dragon, and we're going to talk a little bit about even the Antichrist. But for you, Stig, who is a man from Norway, you call it your mother's milk, in that the stories, the Ragnarok and all of those North legends, these gods, that's part of your heritage.
Yeah, it's part of the Norse mythology, and we kind of get exposed to it from from when we're kids.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Let me just double check here. He does have something, I think. Okay, because they almost did a doc. So I'm going to share this picture. All right, can I share the picture? Will they let me? The
We could
best.
save it and then
Edit, copy. I think I can, and then I can do it. But I got rid of it because, of course, as always, it's like, oh, which account you want to use? The one that's right here. Oh, fuck me. Oh, pardon my French. All right, I'll go ahead and get it taken care of. But yes, he did give me a link that I think is now safe. Yes, it's only got Miss Martin Muses, Gemini, and I'm going to put this up here so you can see what I was just talking about. Um, Center Viach, share the screen, and here we go, share. Yeah. So this is the map that Steve was talking about, and here it is. You see to the left, that is the Westeros map. So yeah, it's definitely. Oh yeah, Ireland is kind of tucked underneath it. It's upside down, and the location of the wall is the same as Hadrian's Wall.
yeah, and you could see where the neck is on the map.
Mhm.
My theory is that that place is going to get flooded, which will split Ireland from England.
Ooh. Oh.
That's right where it would split, isn't it?
Hmm. Because if there's going to be floods and all the apocalyptic stuff in it, yeah, hell yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go back to us here. Yeah, that is cool. Again, something that you also can't see. That's fucking Obi-Wan Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes, thank you, Noodleman. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. So the mother's milk of Steak. So we're actually going to be starting with the Norse aspect of it. And again, apocalyptic literature. We have Ragnarok, which I'm probably mispronouncing the whole idea. But we're going to begin with what is going on in A Song of Ice and Fire. And again, get into the mode chat into A Song of Ice and Fire, not TV show, because that sucks. So we have here that aspects that are going to rhyme. A civil war. So what's the aspect of civil war?
Well, it's going to be well, leading into Ragnarok, which is the end of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Through fire and ice, actually.
Mm-hmm.
You have a period of strife where
Mm-hmm.
you have a civil war. Diseases will happen. There's going to be brothers killing brothers, and there's going to be patricide,
Mm.
and then a long winter, an extra harsh winter uh, will kick in, called the Fimble Winter, and Loki will break free from his imprisonment in a cave, and the sun and the moon will be swallowed, meaning it's going to be dark, long night, and gods and humans and whatever is going to be attacked by frost and fire giants and minions of Loki.
All of this sounds a little bit familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, Civil War. That's the War of Five Kings.
Yes.
Patricide, Tyrion does it to Tywin. Brother killing brother, Stannis and Renly. Right. So, and diseases, there's grayscale. That's one of them. That's
Mm-hmm.
kicking off a bit more in that period that the books take place. So, whoever sits on the throne is irrelevant. That's just the Civil War conflict. The
Yeah.
main problem is the world is in deep shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
you said,
funnily enough, when Tyrion is at the wall, pissing off it, he says he's pissing off the end of the world. Yeah, that's exactly where it's going to happen.
hmm,
It's starting in the north.
wow. Well, holy crud, 2 thumbs up. Now, I know I said that we weren't going to quite go into the Bible stuff, but there is in the Bible, Matthew 24, the Lord says, "For as the days of Noah were, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. The coming of the Son of Man is the end of the world. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day Noah entered the ark, and they knew nothing until the flood came and swept them all away. So too will be the coming of the Son of Man." So, yeah, they're going about their business, they're doing everything, they're looking over here, and boom, crap's coming. And it's going to be big. The whole others. Now the White Walker, that was a TV show invention. The more I'm into this, they call them the others. I don't
Yeah,
think they were ever called the White Walkers, and definitely not the Night King.
no, they're called the others
Hmm.
in the books,
And
and they're Martin said they're more elf-like, kind of like a ice elemental elves in a way.
mhm,
They're definitely their own race.
yeah,
So
yeah, it's craziness, and that speaks to what's also going to be happening at Ragnarok, I think. Or no, this is what's going on in A Song of Ice and Fire. We're going to talk more specifically how it melds with that. We already talked about the long winter, but sorcery, magic is returning. And because the magic that we see in The Song of Ice and Fire, that was not necessarily as manifest in the rest of the history, recent history.
yeah, and also during Ragnarok, Loki's children, there's three of them, will be on his side and do a lot of damage.
Mm,
It's
wow.
Jormungandr, the world serpent. There's Fenris and Hel, which is a lady that's kind of like a keeper of the underworld. Also, where we get the word hell from.
That is true. Yes, because that is actually a translation.
Yeah.
One English word comes from that.
And
It's called something else in the Greek and everything.
yeah, and in this case, it's Loki is represented by Bloodraven, who happens to be trapped in a cave
Yep.
under a big tree, which is yeah, and he doesn't have children, but he has, you know, people under his influence, right?
Correct.
Bran being one of them. Bran is Fenris, the monstrous wolf, who was chained by its hind legs by the god Tyr. Tyr later loses a hand. Well, Jaime chains Bran by paralyzing him from the waist down. That would be the hind legs, wouldn't it?
Mm,
And
yes.
Bran is starting to do monstrous things. Definitely being evilly groomed by Bloodraven. And Jaime, representing Tyr, loses his hand later on as a result of, ripple effects from what he did.
Yeah. It all starts with karma, if you will. Like what you do will be visited upon you.
Yeah,
And again, this is just a little bit of an overview. We're going to go into some more detail. So we definitely have sorcery, magic is returning, signs in the sky. We have the comet that is in the story. The sign of when the dragons come back. I believe that is when we see the comet. And in the United Seven Kingdoms story, where there's the falling star, that occurs when Dunk and Egg kind of decide to be squires. That meetup, and that meetup can be very, very fatalistic going on. We're going to have natural disasters are happening and did happen. The children of the forest had done something like that
yeah,
before.
they have done so in the past, but they haven't done so recently during the Ragnarok period in the story.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking it will happen, and it'll involve Bran because the children of the forest previously way back had used green seers, which were kind of like priests, druids, whatever for them, had used magic to smash the what's called the Arm of Dorn, because Westeros and Easteros was connected by land. But that whole little passageway of land got smashed by a giant tsunami, which the Children of the Forest caused.
Yep.
And they also caused the what's called the Doom of Valeria by creating volcanic eruptions. So they've done so before, but they can't do it now because they're too few and they don't have any green seers. But now they have one, and it's Bran, and he's seemingly the most powerful one in a millennia or something.
Yeah, and crap is really going to go down bad. He is not the good, benevolent person as he is shown in the show, or rather, when I say benevolent, they tried to just make him be just kind of weird at the end, but not evil. But he's
Oh,
evil.
yeah. There's I think in book 5 that they explain what's called abominations in regards to warging, stuff you should not do when you're warging into an animal. Bran has done 4 out of 5 of them unwittingly.
Mm. Yeah. Well, you know that better than I do, and that goes along with the blasphemies and things that will be happening toward the end of the world. That's in Revelation and the New Testament. But
Which
as
is
one,
also happening in the books,
oh
because
yes,
Euron Greyjoy is blaspheming everything
yeah,
constantly. You have the High Sparrow being a false prophet, and so is Melisandre.
hmm
So it checks all the boxes from the Bible as well.
yeah, because the Lord says that there will be many false prophets in the day, saying, "Here he is, here he's there," and he's like, "Don't listen to them." No one knows about the time and the date if that's associated with the end of the world, but it's definitely the same idea about false prophets. And last but not least, we have loads of debauchery and incest. One of the most
Yeah,
infamous things that's going on in A Song of Ice and Fire.
which is said to happen in both Norse mythology and during the end of days in the Bible, I believe.
Yes. What does it say here, just to throw this out? Um, in the last days, this is the Lord speaking. Oh, no, sorry, this is Timothy. Sorry. For people will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, arrogant, abusive, disobedient, ungrateful, unholy, inhuman, implacable, slanderers, profligates, brutes, haters of good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure, holding to the outward form of godliness, but denying its power. Avoid them.
Which
Like,
sounds like our world today, doesn't it?
yeah, though to be fair, it's always that way, but definitely the proliferation, if you will, of it, like an increase of it, because
Well, social media has definitely amplified it. So
yeah, see, I was about ready to say that this kind of debauchery and, if you will, blasphemy against what is holy and is good, including the very nature of man and woman, it has spread in a way that would never have been possible without the internet. Um,
yeah,
but and in A Song of Ice and Fire, there is obviously incest. There's always been the Targaryen incest, which the Septons always were warning against. There was even a big war in the past about the people uprising against Targaryens over it because it was so blasphemous. And
means the church actually has warned against it in
mhm,
Westeros as well.
yes, and they finally, to have peace occur, they make an exception. They're like, well, it's okay. The Targaryen kings can kind of do it. So can we? But no one else can. So everyone, let's just quit killing each other, please, over this. It was a compromise that they made. But the whole Jaime and Cersei thing in A Song of Ice and Fire, the one that a lot of people know the most from the Game of Thrones TV show, most people haven't read the books, that that's really bad. And not only is it's not just two normies having sex with brother and sister. It's the people on the throne. I mean, the queen and the king's guard. It contaminates the line of succession, and of course, Cersei is just pure evil. And at the beginning, so is Jaime, but Jaime is on a road of redemption right now.
Yeah, Jamie's definitely on the road of redemption. He's shook it off, kind of.
Mhm.
While Cersei, she doesn't just do it with Jamie; it's also Lancel.
Oh yeah, her cousin.
Yeah,
And not to describe it, but she does some really icky, awful, sick stuff with one of her servants or one of the other ladies. We're not going to describe it, but it definitely, I mean, Cersei's bad and it's really degenerate. But
yeah, she's
don't describe it. Don't describe it.
no, I was just gonna say she's far more crazy in the books because she gets her own chapters after a while, and you get to see how her psyche works, and she's probably out of all of them that gets a POV chapter. She's probably the most psycho of them.
Hmm. They also show the background of how she and Jamie became a couple. Bleh. And it was very intrusive. I'll just say that. Borderline grooming almost what she did. Even though it's her twin brother, it was definitely something that she initiated, and he, as the dude, as we all know, she definitely knew how to get to him. Let's just put it that way. And then, of
Yeah,
course,
she was definitely the instigator.
Definitely, yes. And so she's definitely evil. And so anything you see on the show that even tried to make her look sympathetic, it just isn't there at all. And sometimes we've discussed this amongst ourselves. People will be like, "Oh, his work is disgusting. There's incest and all this." And it's like, yes, there is, and it's very clear it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
It's debauched. Yeah.
it's not promoting it,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
not yeah. It's not flowers in the attic, okay, people?
No,
If you
it's
know, you
actually
know.
showing what's bad about it.
Mhm.
So, but all this stuff though is going to well, what's happening is humanity is at its worst
Mhm.
before the end of world stuff starts happening, be it Ragnarok or end of days. I've noticed that a lot of the biblical stuff, references or symbolisms, whatever you want to call it, inspirations,
Mhm.
is tied to the Targaryen storyline in the books, while the Ragnarok stuff is tied to Westeros.
Mm, interesting. One
Yes.
exception. Oh,
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
well, what happens is it's frost giants and fire giants attack Midgard and Asgard. Midgard is the world of men, humans.
Mhm.
Asgard is the world of the gods, which is King's Landing in this case, I think, because a lot of the characters are very much based on Norse gods in Westeros.
Yeah.
And I mean, here's one example. You have a sea god called Njord, Njord, who was part of a rebellion against the other gods, and the rebels lost, right? And Njord was tossed ashore to live in the mountains with wolves for 9 years. He is also described as a pervert, and in some of the old stories, he's described as genderless. And he also goes to hell and back during his, mythological story. That's Theon Greyjoy to a T, because he had to live with the Starks, wolves, for 9 years, and he's now genderless.
Yeah.
So,
He got made that way.
so if there's only one thing that fits, that's coincidental, coincidental. But in this case, it's so much, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, Jude 18, in the last time there will be scoffers indulging in their own ungodly lusts. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Even
Yeah.
even the even some of the septons, which are priests
Mhm.
in Song of Ice and Fire, are frequent, frequenting the brothels.
Exactly. And well, we all know. Just because you're a priest, it doesn't make you necessarily immune from sin. And when they do it, it's like there's in a triple level of evil upon that. And the maesters, they take vows, and doesn't the high maester, the highest maester, play it? Doesn't he have hookers in his house, like prostitutes? I think he
I
does.
know the main septon does.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about the maesters. The maesters are more scientists, right?
yeah.
But
But the character I'm talking about, though, he was played by Julian Glover in the TV show. And it
yeah.
wasn't in the book
Uh,
that
oh yeah, he's rented a prostitute in the
yes,
books.
and yes. Um, and the reason why I say that the exception perhaps to the biblical apocalyptic literature being only with the Targaryens is John is relevant um, to that. If he is a Targaryen, but he might be a Targaryen for all we know. We're not sure he is, by the way.
No, he definitely. Here's the thing: King's blood. It's not enough that you just call yourself a king.
Hmm.
You have to have blood from Old Valyria. It's explained in book one, in one of the Daenerys chapters. So it's not just like if if I go to Westeros and pronounce myself a king, that means I have king's blood. No, it doesn't. So it's only people that have some of the Valyrian bloodline in them,
Mm.
right? And the Targaryens is one of, I think it was two houses from Old Valyria that survived. The Targaryens were one of them, so they have Valyrian blood.
Ah, there we are.
Speaking
And
of king's blood, are they guys in the chat?
I was about ready to say, I wanted to say, so great to see you. It's been a minute. So good to see you. Hope you are well. Um, and the whole King's Blood, we're going to get later to the whatever the prophecy, but in the New Testament, they go to great lengths to show that the Lord Jesus, that his blood is like the lineage that goes all the way back to David, and so that's just
Yeah,
something
and
that's very important.
that's the allegory. The king's blood is blood of David,
Mhm.
and
Well,
uh, and it's going to manifest itself in a character called Azor Ahai in in Westeros, and they think it has happened the last time there was a long night. Here's the thing: in the Bible, there is a character called Azor, was mentioned just a little, and he is a descendant of David and one of Jesus's forefathers. So, in the Bible, there's an Azor
yes.
with that bloodline, and Jesus, in this case, in Westeros, it has come and gone. It was Rhaegar, and he got killed, and because he seemed to have all the characteristics of Jesus, was helping the poor and all that stuff, right? Basically, a good person. And then after that, we're supposed to get the Antichrist, and then the return of Jesus, right? When everything's darkest,
Well,
broad strokes.
I was about ready to say yes. And I'm cautious here because as a believer, I'm like, well, remember that, yeah. And that what Martin is doing is he's not, again, trying to take these literally. So there's no reason like we should be offended, for example. It's like, oh
No,
my
no,
gosh,
no.
he's trying to do
It's
something about Jesus here. No.
it's just the basis of an inspiration.
Correct. That's a good way of putting it. But for sure, he does like to take prophecies and things and turn them on their heads to make them not what you would expect. Though Steeg, Aemon, he before he died said that he believed that Daenerys was the Azor Ahai, and points out that dragons are genderless in some of the stuff that they have, and so that he came to believe, and he told that to Sam. He says, "Hey, man, you got to tell the Maesters about this."
Yeah, and he might be spot on. Um, but it looks like maybe a couple of prophecies have been conflated, because you have the Lightbringer prophecy, which is a sword that
Hmm.
Azor Ahai is going to wield. Lightbringer is another word for Lucifer.
Who's bad?
Yeah, and Jon Snow has just been stabbed and killed in the books, right? That's how
Hmm.
book 5 ends. Jon Snow was the Lord Commander number 998, but we're told that the what's his name, the Night King, had been stricken from the records. That means John is number 999. That's 666 inverted.
Hmm. And
So whoever's gonna inhabit John's body, I believe, is the ultimate evil.
yes, and quite possibly John will be. Like, we're throughout the TV show, he's not Mr. Nice Guy with the man bun. That when he comes back, he may not come back as he is. For example, we've already seen it with Catelyn. She definitely is not the Miss Nice Guy. Lady
No,
Stoneheart.
I think in John's case, he's going to be possessed,
Mm.
because the last thing John does right before he croaks is warg into Ghost.
Oh,
So if his body is raised, John's not in it. He's inside Ghost.
and that's hence the name Ghost.
Yeah, so what will be in it?
Mm.
Who? And it looks like that thing they call the Great Other. But so I don't think there's going to be, when John is up and about, we won't have a POV chapter from him, because it's
Yeah.
not John.
No.
It's basically the Westeros Antichrist up and about. I think John will get back into his body somehow, though. But I think it'll be a while.
Yeah. And again, we don't know what kind of corruption, because magic is blasphemous. Like, the Septons do know enough in this world to know that this blood magic stuff, it's bad. Like, it's not good. The Lord of Light is not good. It's not wholesome. It's nothing
Yeah,
to be toyed with.
uh, the only other people that do blood magic is, the warlocks do it a bit, the
Hmm.
ones that the show just abandoned. But it's also the children of the forest used blood magic big time.
And they're not good either.
No,
they're really bad.
children of the forest are not the good guys.
No. Oof, but yeah, but for sure. And of course, Revelation 13 is where they talk about 666, though 666. So to be fair, 666, my gosh. Literally, though, we don't necessarily call that the Antichrist. Like, the word Antichrist isn't really there in the Bible when they talk about Antichrist. The only times that's really used is talking about a person that does not acknowledge that Jesus came alive in the flesh. But it does talk about the beast. Though we have the beast in the book of Revelation, we have like the big dragon. We got horns, and on it's all sorts of blasphemous names and awful things, and it controls the people. And the beast will mark people. And anyone understand, calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a person. Its number is 666. So,
Yeah, the number of a person would be the number
mhm,
of the Lord Commander, which is number 999.
correct. Hello, we love our animals here at Miss Smart Music. Good to see you. Yes. So I just get so fascinated when I think about that. And the dragons aren't necessarily good either. They're
Oh,
they're bad.
absolutely, they're not.
They're like the
They're
beast.
monsters.
Yeah. They're monsters. They make war on everything that is good. We talked about a little bit about Revelation 12, where the Ark of the Covenant, the woman clothed the sun, Blessed Virgin Mary, and the great red beast, the new Eve. Rather, Mary's the new Eve, but the great beast, the great red dragon, makes war upon the woman and her children, all those who follow the teachings of Jesus. So it's like, yeah, it's bad. It's not good. And he was born, rather, the dragons were reborn from blood magic. We do believe, you believe in a lot of people, that Daenerys obviously is not a good person, but she isn't even herself. She is a fire right, that she used blood magic and sacrificed herself and it brought back the dragons.
Yeah. So she's kind of like Lady Stoneheart, but Daenerys was raised right away.
Mhm.
It wasn't like after a week in the river. So
Yeah.
she's more functionally, mentally. And George Martin said, no, the Targaryens are not fireproof at all. He said the thing with Daenerys was a one-time thing, and it involved magic.
And
So
she was the sacrifice. It never made sense to me when I was watching the TV show that she didn't die. She walked into fire, and out of that came the dragons. If it wasn't a blood magic sacrifice that she did, then why the heck did the dragons come back? Because there was a hot fire? No, it was
yeah,
a sacrifice.
yeah. Plus, the hints of this is all over the books because we're constantly told about other Targaryens who got killed by fire. You know, lots of them burned to death.
Summerhall. Though not all of them died, if we believe the rumors, but that's another example of the Septons being against the magic and blood magic, because when Egg from the Knight of Seven Kingdoms, when he is an older king, he decides to try to bring back dragons, and he does all sorts of forbidden magic, forbidden rituals, and it says the Septons warned him against this. He went to old Valyria, or he went and studied them and found all the lore and did like this horrendous, blasphemous sacrifice, if you will, to try to bring back the dragons. He even took 7 dragon eggs in there with him in the fire, and all hell just broke loose, this huge fire. Your theory is that he actually sacrificed himself and is not dead. He's still with us.
Yeah, because all that's, the confirmation of his death has been removed from, the World of Ice and Fire book. So
Yeah. Why not make it, for example, like Arian, where, yeah, dumbass, drunk wildfire, here's his ashes. And I want to be fair that nothing that we are saying is necessarily our unique ideas. I don't want to make it sound like that, though in ways we kind of came up with it. But I looked on the internet. It's like, oh, other people have come up with this as well. So I'm not trying to say like we don't have any hidden sources. We don't have any secret knowledge, and that these are things that will be discussed. But it's also just so enlightening to me. And as we said, that Steve came to, of course, a lot of the Norse stuff, because it's like, oh yeah, there it is, and me with this. But you can find it. I just wanted to make that disclaimer. We're not trying to claim we're more clever than the rest of the planet on this stuff, but we're synthesizing it together. So yes, if it was just a fire, they would have said so. And the reason why we don't have Fire and Blood Part 2, the reason why we don't have the Part 2 of just about anything, and the reason why so many things have been quiet until or if Winds of Winter ever comes out, because the second part of Fire and Blood, I believe, will contain spoilers. Later Dunk and Egg stories will contain spoilers for The Winds of Winter and The Dream of Spring. Definitely Winds of Winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, during the end of days, the rivers will run red. Well, the
Hmm.
Riverlands is where the most of the fighting has been happening, and there's literally corpses floating in the rivers.
Hmm.
That's seen several times in the story. So that's definitely come to pass already in the story, right?
Hmm. Oh, and in the Book of Revelation, we're going to be having earthquakes and all sorts of crazy stuff and
And
earth shattering things.
yeah, I think it's going to happen at the neck. So it'll separate. So you'll have England and Ireland on the map.
Hmm.
But that's also a thing in Ragnarok. It's basically the roots of Yggdrasil, which is the world tree, is going to move, and it's going to cause earthquakes, and it's going to cause floods, tsunamis, whatever. And I think that sounds like what the children of the forest did when they smashed the arm of Dawn, right?
Mm,
And I think Bran is gonna be goaded into doing it for them because now they have a green seer again, so they can do it, and it's gonna happen at that area.
oh, hell yeah.
So that old thing, I think it was Bran or someone who said they had dreamed that the sea came to Winterfell, and everyone assumes that's the Greyjoys attacked, but that's not the same. So I'm thinking,
Oh,
yeah, the sea is actually gonna come there because of the flood.
yeah. And the counterpart in the Book of Revelation, there's Revelation 16. It's called the Bowls of God's Wrath, and there's seven of them. And the first angel poured his bowl on the earth, and a foul and painful sore came on those who had the mark of the beast and worshipped its image. We definitely have grayscale present and other things in the story. The second angel poured his bowl into the sea, and it became like the blood of a corpse, and every living thing in the sea died. The third angel poured his bowl into the rivers and the springs of water, and they became blood. And then the fourth angel poured his bowl on the sun, and it was allowed to scorch people with fire. And so there we are. The fifth angel poured his bowl on the throne of the beast, and its kingdom was plunged into darkness.
Long nights.
People gnawed their tongues in agony and cursed the God of heaven, so they continue with their blasphemies. The sixth angel poured his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up. And I saw three foul spirits like frogs coming from the mouth of the dragon, from the mouth of the beast, and from the mouth of the false prophet. These are demonic spirits performing signs who go abroad to the kings of the whole world to assemble them for battle on the great day of the Almighty. And they assembled them at a place in Hebrew called Armageddon. The seventh angel poured his bowl into the air, and a loud voice came out of the temple from the throne saying, "It is done." And there came flashes of lightning, rumblings, peals of thunder, and a violent earthquake, such as not occurred since people were upon the earth. So violent was that earthquake. The great city was split into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And let's see. Oh, huge hailstones, each weighing about 100 pounds, dropped from heaven on people. So,
That's definitely going to happen during the winter.
mm-hmm,
Stannis is trapped in a massive snowstorm at the end of the book, so um, it's definitely happening now.
yeah,
And the next one is, if it comes out, is called The Winds of Winter. So it'll be full blown winter. It'll get worse and worse and worse.
yep. And
It
the
all
these,
really fits both biblically and Norse. You know,
yeah,
I mean, heck, a lot of the characters can be easily identified as Norse gods, or inspired by Norse gods in this.
yeah, and before we go into the one-to-one analysis of who these might be, I just wanted to read again about the demonic spirits performing signs. Who's performing signs in this story? I'm thinking of Melisandre. She's doing
Yeah,
that.
she's definitely, and she's reading the signs in the sky as she wants to. Um,
Hmm.
and I do believe in the case of the mythologies, she is representing hell.
Yes.
Um, and so she's one of Loki's children in this case, one of his underlings, which fits with Melisandre because when she is at the wall, she feels more powerful. That means she's closer to the power source,
Hmm.
which is Bloodraven.
Yeah. And
And she also looks into the fire to see her lord, which is the Lord of Light, and she sees him more clearly when she's closer to the wall. And it is Bloodraven because the face is described, including the birthmark. So she sees him clear as day, and she's not shocked by it too. So she knows damn well who her lord is. The other
hmm
one is Bran, who is Fenris, and the third one is Daenerys. And who creates fire whites? Yeah, Lord of Light.
yeah.
So the Daenerys is the Jormungandr, the world serpent, which is a massive serpent that got thrown into the ocean by Odin when it was a kid, and then it just grew and grew, and then coils around the world and kind of bites his own tail at the end of Ragnarok. Well, uh, Daenerys um, was sent into the ocean, across the ocean by King Ares, the Mad King. Um, in mythology, it's Odin that does it. However, in some of the myths, Odin is described as a mad king, and he also dies before Ragnarok. He returns later, but someone representing Odin will return, right? Like a new
hmm
persona, taking up those traits. But uh, so, yeah, the Mad King sent Daenerys into the ocean. She is growing as she's traveling east. She's getting a bigger army. The dragons are getting bigger, right?
hmm
Dragons are also called serpents quite often. And she's also associated with the sea a lot, believe it or not, because she's crossing the Dothraki Sea, right?
Mm.
So it's uh, and just because they're serving the big bad evil doesn't mean they're doing it knowingly, right?
Yeah.
Because
There's
Martin has said many times that the worst evil has been done by people truly believing they were doing good.
yeah. And they're being deceived by evil spirits, for lack of a better word. I mean, these people, Bloodraven, we cannot underestimate the importance of him, and he plays a big role in the third novella, I think. Yeah, the third novella in the Duncan Egg stories, and he has a paramour who you think might even be Melisandre because her lord,
Yeah,
I forget
Shiera
her name.
Sea Star.
Yeah,
So uh, she would call Bloodraven her lord, right?
yeah.
We don't really know how she ended up, but she was apparently very beautiful, and she used sorcery. She was a sorceress using sorcery to aid Bloodraven.
Yes. And her lord, I mean, it makes sense that, yeah, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
my lord. That's also what women would call their husbands or their, lovers. Like, oh, you are my lord. It wasn't uncommon, even when they were married for a very long time. They wouldn't call them by their first names. But wanted to say hello to Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. Hello, woo! Thank you, sir, for being here. So good to see you. And to talk about Melisandre, and this is probably the last thing I will say from the book of Revelation. Obviously, we're not talking one to one, but she is also very much the great whore of Babylon. There's a lot of things the way the great whore of Babylon is described, because she is a whore. But it says, let's see, the great whore who is seated on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. Who fornicated? They fornicated, Stannis and her. And with the wine of whose fornication the inhabitants of the earth has become drunk. And I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was full of blasphemous names, and it had 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was clothed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with golden jewels and pearls, holding in her hand a golden cup of abominations and the impurities of her fornication. And on her forehead was written a name, a mystery: Babylon the Great, mother of whores and of earth's abomination. And she was drunk with the blood of the saints and the blood of those that were witnesses to Jesus.
Well, Shira Sea Star, who gets mentioned quite often, actually, in the books, both Dunk and Egg and other places. She is always associated with blood. Because Barristan Selmy says that Bittersteel and Bloodraven both loved Shira Sea Star, and the 7 kingdoms bled. She was also bathing in blood to preserve her beauty. And the only one that's really associated with blood quite a bit is Melisandre, because she keeps doing blood magic.
Yeah. And it is an abomination in the real world when people want to insult Jesus, for example, the Lord, or the church and her sacraments. What do? They do things with the body and blood of Christ. They desecrate the Eucharist. They steal the Eucharist and perform black masses with it.
That's exactly what she's doing, though. She used king's blood
to do a horrible spell.
Yeah, she uses it to, the shadow babies as well. So if we're right about the king's blood being a reference to the blood of David and Jesus, right? Then that's exactly what she's doing.
Yeah. So if there is any concern, especially among my brethren out there that are like, oh, they're like he's doing inversions of things that are holy to us. And one could argue, yes, the characters are doing that, but the ones who are doing it are not the heroes. They're bad. They're villains. And it's shown to be abominations. So
it's actually said flat out many times.
Yeah. And for any biblical scholars in here, I'm aware of the symbolism and even the explanation in the final part of the Revelation chapter 16, but that's not for this discussion. I'm just using the symbolism as it comes from it. We know that there's other aspects of it. Maybe I'll talk about that on Catholic Explaining, but not on this channel. So I just wanted to throw that out. Yeah. So it turns out, we did go into Revelation, but we had to there because of the way that the discussion went. But keep in mind, they're bad. They're evil. And if it's kind of true that George R.R. Martin really had a hand in the season 1 of this Night of the 7 Kingdoms, which I believe so, because at this point he doesn't lie. He doesn't care about professionalism. They had that prophecy that witch lady did with Egg, and it definitely wasn't a happy thing. So these people, you don't want to be friends with them. They're bad, and they don't want what's good for the world. Though I'm not quite sure what their end game is supposed to be. Like, what is like Melisandre and Bloodraven's end game? I don't know.
Still unsure, but it looks like he's had it with the world and kind of wants revenge, because that's what Loki wants, right? Also, here's another reference with Loki. Loki is the god of fire and trickery. And Bloodraven was using sorcery to trick people. And so does Melisandre. And Lord of Light, fire, right? You have fire and trickery. That's the only thing magical that's associated with them. It's those two things.
Wow. Hell yeah. Let me see.
Speaking of fire and trickery, Tina Bojan is in the chat.
We had the most awesome stream yesterday. Please, everybody, watch the replay. Do not be scared away by a little bit of thirstiness that's in there. We actually do a lot of analysis of the characters as well when we discuss the men of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and it was a blast. We went on for nearly 3 hours. It was a great stream. Thank you, Tina, and thank you for being here, giving us a heart. Yay! We love we love everyone here at Miss Martin Muses, and we love everyone except for Bloodraven. He sucks. He's evil, but yeah. I mean, well, sometimes people just want to see the world burn. If we're going to go with the Satan analogy, that's what Satan's all about. I mean, he's lost his place in heaven. He's been thrown down to the earth, and his goal is just, I'm going to F up as much as I can because I'm damned. I want to bring as many people as I can with me. And that could be the Blood Raven's goal as well. And making, oh gosh, John, the wielder of Lightbringer. I mean, I just
which
saw all
makes
sorts of
which makes perfect sense because in the Norse mythology allegories, John is definitely inspired by or embodying Surtur the Black from Norse mythology, which is a fire giant. He is all John is associated with black all through the story. He's called a black-hearted bastard. He's taken the black, right?
Yeah, the
He's
Night's
wearing a
Watch.
black glove. He's wearing black clothes. It's black, black, black with him, and he also happens to have what seems to be one of the old Targaryen swords. It might be Daemon's sword with a new hilt. I'm not sure, but it looks like it. But Surtur the Black is going to set the world ablaze with his burning sword during Ragnarok. He also lives near the Bifrost Bridge, which is the wall. So it fits to a T. And who's near him that can make a burning sword at this point? Melisandre.
Oh, yeah.
So it's yeah.
Ooh, yeah, it's so cool. And we have now reached our point where we're going to delve into the gods and how they are manifesting. So I'm going to start off with the big guy. We're going to start with Odin. Tell us about Odin.
Well, he's the king of the gods. Like I said earlier, also described as a mad king. He also gives up his eye for knowledge later on, and he's traveled the world big time. Odin dies before Ragnarok and then returns. And later on for the final battle, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, it
So,
says
well, it's definitely Ares, the Mad King. That's the first, Odin in the story. And he dies before all this crap starts happening, right?
yeah, as it
And
revs up.
he returns in the form of Euron Greyjoy, who has traveled all over the world and is also missing an eye. And he's also described as the maddest of them all.
Ooh, and he has really delved deep into the worst of the dark black magic that you can possibly imagine. The sorcery of that man.
And he is also notorious for having bastard children. And it's actually hinted that Jaime and Cersei are his bastard twins. Because Barristan alludes to that in book 5, I think.
Whoa!
And it is why Ilan Payne, the executioner guy, he had his tongue removed. So he can't speak.
I will have to look into that when I get to it. So if that's true, then maybe Tywin Lannister was shooting blanks because there's good evidence that Tyrion is a Targaryen with his mismatched eyes, and that there was a certain character, I think that you said that Tywin's wife. Um,
No, it's hinted that the Mad King raped Tywin's wife.
okay, so it's a Mad King that is, and then that is why Tyrion has his mismatched eyes. It's because
No, he did it when you know he made Jamie and Cersei.
oh, so you
He-
don't think that then who's Tyrion's dad supposed to be?
Don't know. Well, I think actually that is Tywin's dad.
Oh, but
Sorry,
I
Tywin is his dad.
oh wait, because you and I were talking about that's the that the whole thing with Tyrion is that because he has mismatched eyes and they're one's purple and all that, that's showing that he has Targaryen blood in him. That he's a Targaryen. His dad's
Well,
a Targaryen.
it could be, but in the mythology there is a dwarf called Fafnir who his dad is the richest man in the world, and he kills his dad and runs off. Does that sound like Tyrion and Tywin?
Oh, absolutely.
And
Okay.
Fafnir later becomes a dragon and gets killed by Siegfried the Dragon Slayer, which is Jamie is a combination of Tyr and Siegfried the Dragon Slayer. So maybe Jamie will kill Tyrion. I don't know. Not sure.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Well, and of course, these are all speculations, but I still think if there is a candidate for who's the daddy, it is Tyrion. That is the Targaryen. That there was
Well,
some stepping out.
Jamie and Cersei behaves like Targaryens too, though.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. Maybe all three of them, and
Hmm,
wouldn't that be really
maybe.
interesting? Yeah. Yeah, because they behave like Targaryens. Cersei definitely in her madness, and then you have the incest. And it does say here, going back to Odin, that the gods, giants, and monsters, and the dead will be the ones that kill Odin. Like that in Odin, Thor, Loki, Frey, and Hodor are gonna be killed
Yeah,
by.
it's actually kind of split a couple of times because sometimes it'll say that, yeah, this god survived, but then like you look at what happens during Ragnarok, like no, this guy was eaten.
Oh, yeah.
So it's very it's taken from a lot of different sources, so it's very loose.
Yeah. And of course it's not like, as you say, it's like a not like a linear story. I mean, these were all legends that were told and retold in all the areas like around where you live, in Iceland, and what from the Eddas and all of that in
Well,
many different sources.
speaking of the poetic Edda, which is where all these stories are written down. That's the name of the book.
Hmm.
Uh, Edda, Edda. Add an R and a D to it, and you have the guy who starts the story, Eddard.
Ned.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. And he would know these things. Yes. And hello, Arch Studios. Good to see you. And thank you for being here. All right. So we have Thor. We've already talked about Loki. We talked about
Oh,
Tyr.
we did not talk about Thor. We talked about Odin.
Oh, you're my bad. We talked about Odin.
Thor is a storm god who uses a hammer and he parties, known for great strength, and he's well basically making use of horse, right?
Hmm.
And he dies before Ragnarok. That is King Robert, storm god because born at storm's end. He was known to use a war hammer, also a Thor thing, and
Hmm.
he's in his later years does nothing but party and sleep with horse,
Well, that sounds
and
about
dies
right.
before Ragnarok. And I think the Thor will also return, right? I think that's Gendry, because he also uses a warhammer, and he looks like Robert. We're told that he big and strong, And in one of the myths, Thor captures the world serpent by fishing, and he uses a bull's head as bait. Gendry has a
Hmm.
bull's head helmet.
Oh, that
Yeah.
there we are. All right. That's pretty damn cool. Okay, so we have Thor. I have here on my notes. Well, we already talked about Fenris. How about there's a guy apparently in your literature called Frey or
Yeah. Frey is the god of virility.
ooh.
Well, we have a Frey
Yeah.
in the story, Walder Frey, who's over 100 years old and still making babies, and he has, I don't know how many kids he has, like 50. I don't know. He just keeps producing.
Yeah.
He will be swallowed by Fenris during Ragnarok, and if you look at the map, the twins area where he lives is right where that flood likely is going to happen. So if that's caused by Bran will swallow him. Fenris will swallow Frey.
And kill him and be nice
Yeah.
revenge for killing his mama and his brother too, perhaps.
Yeah, but Bran doesn't know about that, I think.
Well, but if he's warging and having all sorts of weird knowledge, maybe he does. I don't know. I haven't read the book.
I don't think he has the knowledge yet.
Okay.
But so that was definitely Frey, Swallow Frey.
Yeah, I mean it's right there, but it's spelled with an R at the end. But I'm
that depends on the language.
Oh, well, there we are. Now the next one I have on my list is Yogung Mungander. I'm sorry.
That's Daenerys, Jormungandr, the world serpent.
Okay. Wait, you pronounce J's like J? You don't go yeah, like German?
No, I'm pronouncing it in your language.
Oh, okay.
I'm being polite. I'm known for it.
All right, because I'm thinking, man, I tried hard to kind of say it right. It's like I would say it.
Yeah, well, no, I've given that up.
Oh, shit. Well, I can't. I maybe if I went to a linguist for a very long time, maybe I'd have passable Norwegian. Okay, so it's Jormungandr. So who's you said who's Jormungandr again?
Daenerys. I mentioned it earlier. She's one of the children of Loki, kind of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then Hottie?
That's Sansa. Hottie, it means hatred. It's a big monstrous wolf. It is male in the mythology, but it's associated purely with hatred. And it's going to chase the moon. And once Ragnarok starts, it's going to swallow it. Well, Arya Stark is, she's a wolf, and she's also a warg because she can enter Nymeria from quite a distance. And everyone who has wronged her, she absolutely hates. More so than any of the other Starks, right?
Mm.
She has a kill list that she recites every night. And Hottie is going to chase the moon. Arya is doing that because she is trying to get to the Faceless Men, right? For much of the story, who happens to have a moon symbol above the door.
Okay. I need to get to these. I definitely will. I thought you said it was Sansa at first. That's where I got a bit confused, but maybe.
Yeah, no, it's not Sansa.
That's what I thought. Yeah, either I'm going deaf or I misunderstood. And then I have. Oh, wait, I think we've already said Suitor.
Yeah, Suitor the Black.
Yeah, Suitor Black, and that's John. And then we have Hodor. Speaking of Hodor, it literally looks like Hodor. Hodr.
Yeah. Who is a gentle giant, never harms anyone, unless tricked or goaded. That's exactly what Hodor is.
Well,
he doesn't do anything to anyone except when Bran wargs into him, right?
Yeah. And I mean, come on, it's just right there. It's pretty obvious. And then who do I have here? Fatnir?
Fafnir, that's Tyrion.
That's Tyrion. Okay. Oh yeah, you mentioned that already. Alrighty. Is there anyone I missed out on?
Oh, yeah, there is one called Quasir, which used to be a search engine. Remember that?
I don't remember, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Anyway, he was basically he's supposed to be one of the wisest of them,
Hmm.
but it's unclear if he's a god or not, though. But he's in the myth, and he's basically traveling and spreading his knowledge, acting as a teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
And wise beyond his years and stuff like that. Jojen Reed is teaching Bran, and he's also referred to as little grandfather because he's very mature for his age. Also, you're muted. What happens to him, though, is he gets killed by two dwarves that take his blood to make something called the mead of poetry, which is actually the paste that they give Bran in book 5. And Jojen is missing after that. So Jojen's been killed. They've taken his blood, fed it to Bran to boost his powers.
Yeah. And that is considered a horrendous abomination, what they do for that paste, if I'm correct. It's like really, really, really bad.
Especially if Bran wargs into his wolf and then eats it. That'll be even worse.
Mm. Yeah. And to also maybe relate it to the Eucharist, there is nothing more blasphemous than any kind of reference or take on the Eucharist than you just can't get more blasphemous than to mess around with the Eucharist and the symbolism of the Eucharist. And there's also something about if you eat the body and blood and drink the blood of the Lord unworthily, you drink death upon yourself. That's a warning that St. Paul gives. So what they're doing with that blasphemy, that perhaps Bran just drank death upon himself. He ate death upon himself, spiritual death.
Yeah. And there's also Idun, Idunn, who is a young goddess who is associated with youth and beauty and apples. She's going to feed apples to the gods during Ragnarok to give them strength. A lot of people want to marry her and stuff. And she's also accused of marrying her brother's killer. And that's Sansa, because Idun also gets kind of kidnapped and taken to an eagle's nest. Well, the Eyrie, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where she ends up. There's an eagle's nest in a way. And has to marry Tyrion, which some blame for, the death of Robb, right? Because Tyrion, it kind of escalates from the Tyrion being accused of harming her brother. But here's the kicker. That goddess is going to feed the gods apples. We're told in the books that the Eyrie is having an excellent apple season, right? And here's the checkmate one. Sansa, the name Sansa, is the name of a type of apple.
Oh.
Yeah. And she's not associated with wolves because she lost her wolf right away. So, yeah. If you look it up, look up Sansa apple.
Oh yeah, it is a dessert. It said I was already looking it up. It's an early season dessert apple. It's a sweet one, crisp and juicy.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, and the second you said Eden and apples, you know where my brain went.
Yeah,
Eve, Eden, the apple, the tree, the fruit, and all hell broke loose when Eve ate the apple and then gave it to Adam to eat. So, and then they had to wear leaf clothing and stuff on them, which the children of the forest do. So that's just right. Oh, for some reason, hounds they put that as sensitive. There was nothing wrong with what you said, so I just undid it. Yeah, I said juicy. Sansa is juicy. It's like, yeah,
yeah. Well, virgin, right?
yeah. Well, yeah. You see, we're all pure here. Yeah, she
Yeah,
is. It's a miracle that woman is still a virgin because there were so many times that she was vulnerable to um, losing it. Well, to use the line from the United Seven Kingdoms when Dunk goes, "Stop graping, sir." That's a lot of
yeah.
that going on in King's Landing.
Here's another one. There's Frigga, right? Who is the queen of Asgard, and she has the power of prophecy, and she does not share the prophecies with anyone. And she begins to lose it when her son is killed, and she's jealous of Freya for being more beautiful than she is. And that's that's Cersei. She's the queen of Asgard, queen of King's Landing, and she has prophecies that she has never told anyone. She was told by Maggie the Frog, I think it was, or whatever. And she gets more and more crazy after Joffrey's killed, and she's jealous of Marjorie Tyrell for being younger and more beautiful, and she basically starts plotting against her. And Freya, if that is Marjorie, Freya is the goddess of love and beauty and fertility and gold and death and war. She has two cats, and she wears a cloak made of falcon feathers. She gives two cats to Tommen, doesn't she, Marjorie?
Yeah, because he's a
And
lot younger than he is in the show, I think.
yeah, and she has been wed and re-wed 3 times,
And is
which
still a virgin.
yeah, and she's also Freya is also having her virginity questioned in the myths, which is happens to Marjorie from that trial. And the symbol of Freya is a rose, which happens to be the same symbol as House Tyrell.
It
And
is.
the falcon feather stuff is also represented because she goes hunting with a falcon several times. She's the only one who does it.
Ooh. Well, hell.
Yeah. So it just fits to a T, a lot of it.
Yeah. Is Lady Stoneheart, is she a reference
Yeah.
to?
Nothing.
Mm.
No reference at all. Maybe she's one of the monsters that are supposed to show up. The
Well,
dead people.
yeah. Well, she's a monster, and she's definitely not human. I mean, the whole her name, that she's a Stoneheart, and because it took her so long to be raised, that she's just like a zombie almost, but a really
Yeah,
scary zombie.
she's been and here's the weird thing about Lady Stoneheart. Her neck is still open. So she kind of has to pinch the wound shut when she speaks. And she doesn't speak the normal language. She speaks the language of the dead,
Ooh.
which means I don't think that's Catelyn. you know?
Well, who
It's
we
something
say
in there that's basically taken over whatever she wanted to happen before she died, right? Just amplified it, kind of demonic. Don't know. But something's off there.
for sure. And then you add that to the whole king theme of Targaryen madness. Also, I was when you said Maggie the Frog, Remember when I read aloud that passage from Revelation and that one of the demons that came out was a frog? Or is that?
Yeah,
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 with a false prophecy. Sorry. Wouldn't that be awesome if it turns out the whole Azura High thing is a false prophecy? Like it's nothing
yeah.
because
It could be, but she wasn't the one who told that one though, and that one has been mentioned from different sources.
oh. So who did Maggie the Frog? What did she say? I don't know this stuff. What
But
did
she was
she?
the one who said that Cersei would become a queen, and
Oh.
she would have several children, but none with the king. And she said she would have three children, and their burial shrouds would be gold. So she would
Mm.
outlive the kids. So, Tommen and Marcella, they might croak. And she was also told that the younger brother would choke her to death. She believes it's Tyrion. But they found out later that the word used, the old Valyrian word or whatever it was, could also mean younger sibling. So
Jamie.
it doesn't have to be her sibling. It could be
Oh,
someone
that's true.
else. Yeah, so it just opens the door wide for just anyone who isn't the firstborn.
Yeah. But
You know,
isn't Jamie the second born though? Like is she the older twin?
don't know, but it says she's gonna be choked by hands.
Oh.
Jamie only has one hand, so he's disqualified. It could be Arya. It could be Bran warging into zombie Clegane and doing it right. It could be Stannis. It could be the Second Sons, the mercenary group.
Yeah.
Somehow, you know, it could be Euron
Yeah.
because
And who
Balin
could
is the older one.
and who could
So
forget, yeah, the whole faceless people. I mean, that's just something that we still don't quite know how that's going to come to fruition in the story.
yeah, so
What?
it's and here's the weird thing in the books. Clegane is dead. The mountain,
Mhm.
and his head was sent to Dorne, but um, Qyburn, who's making the zombie Clegane, kept the head of the dwarf that looked like Tyrion, and Clegane has a head, even though his head was sent to
Oh,
Dorne.
yeah.
So that dwarf head that looks like Tyrion is on Clegane on his
One
body.
abomination after another monster.
Yeah, and if Bran wargs into him, because Bran has seen zombie Clegane in one of his visions, so if he manages to warg in there and choke Cersei, because he'll remember her from when he got pushed out the window, she might see the face of a dead dwarf that looks like Tyrion choking her. So it'll be prophecy fulfilled big time.
Mm,
So that's just a
cool.
theory I have, though.
Yeah. A lot of these are, of course, obviously are theories until he releases the book. But that's a I'll bitch about that another time. I wanted to shift just slightly here when discussing magic. We have the Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil
Thank you. What's that and how is it?
is the world tree that connects the worlds and stuff.
Which we have with the trees in the books. Some of us. And they're spies. And there's 3 ravens with them. Let me see. Who oh no, 2 rather, or ravens Hugin and Munin and uh this network, and the Blood Raven is behind it all, as we all know. It's like it's like if there were like intercoms, bugs, but they're trees. And so that's why you said Ned did something to the trees, like he actually chopped them down.
No,
What was it then?
Melisandre ordered them burned or something.
Oh, Melisandre. Sorry,
Yeah,
I misremembered.
Ned doesn't. He has one right outside in in the Godswood or whatever outside Winterfell.
That's what I thought. Forget I said that. That was an H. Ardondo.
Yeah,
Wrong,
so
wrong reference.
basically, with the Children of the Forest, they're definitely using those weirwood trees as a spying network,
Hmm.
and it was part of the the old pact they had with the First Men was that you're not supposed to chop down those trees, right? And they're definitely associated with blood magic, and it looks like, well, that network has to spring from somewhere, and there happens to be a massive tree up there in the north. So if that's representing Yggdrasil, then it looks like they can use that to pour magic through, right?
Mm.
And that was what happened. It's just been happening because the every time they use like destructive magic, it comes from below ground. There was a
From.
volcanic eruption in Valyria. There was like a tsunami. So it's probably an earthquake outside of Dorne that caused a tsunami that smashed the landmass there. And it looks like they have tried it in Westeros at the neck, which is why it's swampy, but they didn't have enough, ammo to do it properly, right?
Mm.
So it was just half done. And we know they did it at Hardhome when the wildlings tried to build a town. There was a volcanic eruption in the caves below it, so they basically fried them.
Ooh. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. And it makes perfect sense that the men, or sometime over the thousands of years, they sensed something supernatural there, and so started to worship it. That's their old god. So, and the stuff with the trees. So it
Yeah, and they have
makes
those
sense.
green seers that they used for to do it for them, or they did it through them, or something.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's still unclear, but it's also interesting that their main site was the Isle of Faces, and it's very much similar to the Faceless Men, who actually originated in Valyria in those mines that got flooded by a you know volcanic eruption. That's their
Mm.
origin, the Doom of Valyria. And all men must die. That sounds like something the Children of the Forest would say.
Yeah. And goodness knows we still don't know what went down in Valeria, but you talk about crap going south. And in the
Yeah,
Fire and Blood, they describe one of the daughters flew over to Valeria and just came back just infested with these awful like creatures that came from within. It was just so horrifying that there's definitely some sort of horrendous residue or source of abominations.
yeah.
Oh,
So
so
it's
cool. So cool.
there's a lot of depth uh, in these books. A lot of and probably a lot won't be explained because I don't think he would spoon feed everything. Doesn't seem
No.
to be that sort of author, and it would be cheesy if he did.
Yeah,
It's actually hints are actually better, stronger and stronger hints or something, and then reveal some of it
yeah,
because it's more fun to read when you piece stuff together yourself rather than being spoon fed.
for sure. Now, the last thing I have on or my outline here for the stream is after the end of the world as we know it. So after there's this big, huge battle, giants, the dead, everything. Who knows who lives? Who knows who or who dies? But they were going to have a horrendous apocalyptic event. Then the world is actually going to be reborn, and it's going to be reborn green and fertile. And you
Which would
said,
be a spring.
uh, and maybe even a dream of spring. And after
Exactly.
the winter, oh gosh. And you told me that in the myth that you know in this, there's going to be a council that's actually going to decide what to do or something like that.
Yeah. There's a the survivors sit down and basically decide what the new world is going to be, which is exactly how the show ended,
Mm.
actually. So I think that's what George meant when they got some of the ending right,
Hmm.
you know. And there's also a child survives by hiding inside a tree. That child's name is Leaf, and as it happens, the children of the forest seems to be able to enter trees, like
Hmm.
physically, completely. And the only named one is called Leaf in the books.
Mm.
So it's right there.
Yeah, and I see here that in the myth it says there were actually two. It was a dude and a chick, Leaf and Leaf Brassier, and that they repopulate in the myth.
Yeah, it could be, but it also contradicts the rest of it, right? Because if they're the ones repopulating, why are there other survivors planning how the world will be? So I guess
Well,
they'll repopulate the children of the forest, perhaps, because they're not two children of the forest won't make a human.
yeah. Oh, I know. Well, I'm thinking that those are the names from the myth. I think I have here, not
Yeah,
from the book. Yeah.
yeah,
Um.
but there is a leaf
Yeah.
in
In the
in
story.
the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah. Well, I think that like a lot of myths, even in the book of Genesis, which I believe is the true myth, but it is a myth, you do have, okay, you got Adam and Eve, you got these people, and then all of a sudden there's other people there. Kind of the same idea.
Yeah,
Like, don't think too hard about it.
yeah, and the Norse myth, a lot of it might be lost because the stuff we have about it, that's all there is.
Mm,
It was written down and from stories told verbally, and
yeah.
then this Icelandic guy actually wrote them down. He did it with the King sagas too. So
I have that.
yeah,
It's so
so
good.
it's um, if he hadn't done that, it would probably most of it would have been lost
Yeah.
by
Yeah,
now.
yay. You're our hero, pal. Yeah. It's just yeah, that's just so amazing. But as we know, it's not gonna be a kind of a surviving council where they'll go, "Who has the greatest story? And let's vote on a king." It's like,
Yeah,
no.
I don't think. Well, hell, in the show, they would never survive because they hadn't. Winter was still going on. It didn't end. It's not like poof, winter's over just because they killed the Night's King. You know, and
Mm,
they basically had a whole country that hadn't stocked up for winter because they had been warring. So in the show logic, all of them will be dead from
yeah,
starvation just like some months later.
yeah. Well, but the long night only lasted literally a night. The long winter was a long
Yeah, I
night.
was like, yeah, this is a long night, lasts for 2 evenings.
Yeah,
And the White Walkers are a big threat, even though they only win one battle, or rather, they're in one major battle and lose.
yeah. Well, this says it all. Hello, Alex Servier. Thank you for being here. The Night King is a stupid idea. Yeah, and that was a concept from the TV show. That's not in the books.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
indeed
there
stupid.
is a legend of a Night King in the books. It
Yeah,
was
but
the 13th Lord Commander who made himself king at the Night Fort after having married what seems to be a female White Walker, and they had kids that were abominations, right?
yeah,
So that's all there is about him.
yeah,
So if he married a female White Walker, he couldn't have been the first one because they were already there. That's why he's called the Night King.
yeah,
So, and that's even on the bonus material on the earlier Game of Thrones Blu-rays, and
yeah,
then they do a 180 on it and make him the first White Walker, which they just contradicted their own bonus material. So you can see it clear as day. They just took it out of their asses. And in the show itself, the Night King is never mentioned at all. until Sir Davos starts saying, "Yeah, we need to really get together and fight the Night King." Like, okay, how did you get? Where did you get that name from? Nobody's
Precisely. Yeah.
nobody's ever said it.
Yeah. Hence the stupid idea. Yeah. The way they do it
Yeah,
in the show. Absolutely. Yeah. He was a legend. It wasn't like, so I don't think it's going to be a situation that where you just kill the leader and then the rest of them die. It's not going to be
no.
that easy with the
Well, here's
others
the
rather.
thing: that they killed. Sam killed a White Walker in the
Hmm.
show. Nothing else happened as a result. But then all of a sudden later, you can kill one of them, and then all the zombies die. Which, I guess that could happen. We don't know, but the show showed us one thing and then showed us the opposite later on.
Hmm. Yeah. And Alex Servey makes a good point. It
Yeah,
removes the intrigue about the mysterious nature of the others. Needs to the Night King, in my opinion. Everything about them is rumors and legends. Yeah.
yeah. And Martin said they are uh, a race.
Hmm.
It's a graceful elf-like race. So it's not it doesn't look like they were like constructs, right?
Hmm.
Because they even have their own language and stuff like that. And but yeah,
Yeah.
it's the, the the showrunners just wanted someone who Jon Snow could fight or something because it's badass Darth Maul, right?
Yeah. And they made it literally like in a chess game because you get the king, the game's over. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. No, no,
Well, I'm not saying that could not be the the case in the books. We don't know yet,
no.
but here's the thing: the dragon glass. The
Yeah.
dragon glass is only damaging to the White Walkers, not the zombies. Martin said, if you stab a zombie with dragon glass, it'll just make a wound like a regular dagger. They're not allergic to it.
Hmm.
And in the show, they basically went to catch one, right, a zombie, and bring it back down to King's Landing to show Cersei.
Yeah, that was
And
stupid.
then they're like, yeah. Then they kill it with dragon glass. This is the only way to kill him. That's what they said. Well, in the episode before, when they caught him, they were killing them with sledgehammers and all kinds of stuff. Gendry was using his hammer on them, and Ghost was biting one to bits. Right? So they didn't need dragon glass there.
Hmm.
It's just so bullshit.
Yeah.
They actually contradict themselves from one episode to the next.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets even dumber. The Night King in the show gets created by the children of the forest shoving dragon glass into his heart, right? So how the hell can he be allergic to dragon glass when he has it in his jammed in his heart? He should have just gone poof right away.
Yeah. I you cannot even try to apply logic to the show after a certain point, at least definitely the stuff with the others. Yeah, and as
Yeah.
Alex says, yeah, the
Then
show dumbed them down to zombies like how they dumbed down everything else. Yeah.
yeah, it's just and people cheered. Oh wow! I can't believe this battle was so good and blah blah blah. And then nothing in it makes sense if you actually paid attention in the previous episode.
Mm.
And here's where it gets really dumb. When Bran is doing his little time travel thing, whatever the hell it is, and the Night King notices him and grabs him in the vision. And the children of the forest go, oh no, now they know about the cave. They're going to attack. Well, when Bran arrived at the cave, they had already laid a trap outside full of undead that killed Jojen. So how could they not know about the cave, yet they had left a trap outside?
Oh, I don't know because it's Ridiculous. That's why. And or another word that starts with an R.
Yeah,
Such
and
a waste of
bonus,
money.
Benjen, who explains to Bran that, yeah, I was killed and the children of the forest saved me, and now I'm alive, but I'm undead and I can't go through the wall because there's magic in the foundation that wards off the undead, right?
Hmm.
And then the White Walkers use a dragon and tear down a piece of the wall and move the undead army over the foundation. The very foundation we were told a couple of episodes before wards off the undead.
Hmm. See, I didn't even pay that much attention to
Yeah,
it
and
when I was watching the show because I just didn't understand it, and I figured when I got around to reading the books, I could understand it that way. But
yeah, there was it was void of logic, and the masses were cheering it on blindly. Oh, best show ever! So awesome!
well,
Watch me react to it, and then they whine when season 8 ended up being retarded, and but they cheered on everything that led to that ending being the only option, right?
yeah,
Because of all the plot holes and all that
yeah.
stuff. So the people who cheered for season 5, 6, and 7 got exactly the season 8 they deserved because they enabled it all the way.
Somewhat, but I think nobody believed it would be as bad as it was. I mean, we knew it was getting bad. I started noticing it definitely in season 7, but season 5, I remember my sister going, "This sucks." Season 5, she was noticing it because I think it was all that Dorn stuff that was just like, "What the hell is going on here?"
Oh, the
Um,
Dorn stuff they added because they wanted more feminism. I'm not kidding. That's why they did it.
yeah, and they were enamored of the actress they got to play the paramour of the Martell guy.
Yeah. Basically, in Dorn, it's okay for a hooker to kill the Prince of Dorn and just sit down and rule.
Yeah,
Nobody else who
no,
has a claim to the throne will ever question it. That's how dumb it was.
yeah. Even when I watched it, I remember she stabs the prince. She wouldn't have lived. She wouldn't have been able to. The guards and everyone would have been right on her and would have killed her on the spot.
Yeah. But it turns out they only had like 3 guards down there, so it was fine.
Yeah, and of course, Alex, or is it Alex Irvy or Alex Irvy? Help me out there. I will never forgive how they butchered so many characters. Daenerys, John, Euron. Yeah, definitely. They turned Euron into Jack Sparrow. Stannis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Steve has a lot to say about Stannis, and I wanted to ask you about Stannis, and of course the removal of several cool characters. Yes, there's far more characters, but it's Stannis. What do you see Stannis fitting into all this? Like, is there a mythological
Yes,
equivalent?
absolutely. Absolutely. Because if the Mad King represents Odin, right?
Hmm.
Then Dragonstone would be Odin's island, right? Because it's a
Mm.
Targaryen island. In the myth, on Odin's island, there's a god named Forseti, who is the god of justice. He's justice personified, which
Ooh,
is Stannis.
yeah,
And there's no mention of him in Ragnarok, by the way. So probably croaks before, or maybe he survives. I don't know. But there's nothing about him during Ragnarok. But in the myth, god of justice. However, he will right the wrongs of the land. And what is Stannis doing currently? He saved the wall.
yeah.
He has united most of the North by giving, the Glovers and all those people their lands back from the Boltons. So he's basically cleaning up the mess, which is why I think he's going to win at Winterfell. I think he's going to destroy the Boltons.
Mm.
Um, After that, don't know. I think he'll probably croak, but uh, yes, but Stannis is all about justice to a fault. You
Yeah.
know,
And speaking of also along that line, and not being able to forgive what they did to Stannis. They had an amazing actor. I mean, look who they had to play him. And
Yeah,
I mean, wow,
and
what a
he
waste.
he nailed it,
Yeah.
you know, and the perfect casting.
Imagine if we could have seen him do all that stuff in the North. They gave it to John in the TV show.
Yeah, they combined John with Stannis and Aegon, because
Mm.
there's an Aegon in the books, and
Who
I
you
mean,
believe
hell,
is the real Aegon, right? And it's not
yeah,
a
there's
fake.
hints. Yeah, there's a couple of hints in there. Um, Varys talks to Tyrion about Elia Martell and how she cried when her babe was killed. He didn't say it plural because supposedly it was two kids that were killed, right? But he said babe. That's one. And and later he explains. Someone, I think it was John Connington, maybe that said it. Another one they ditched from the show, that Varys had basically bought a baby from a hooker or something and swapped that one with Aegon.
Dude,
So
you
it was the other baby that got killed. Um, but
you know,
since Elia cried for one babe, that means she actually knew that the other one had been smuggled out. Otherwise, she would have thought it was both got killed, right? But it looks like Aegon is not fake. And here's the thing: where the show is retarded, um, that kid who was Rhaegar and Elia's son, right, was named
mhm.
Aegon. Why would Aegon then have a kid with Lyanna and name that one Aegon as well? He will have two Aegon sons, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
Which
he had an
is doesn't make any kind of sense at all.
yeah. It, oh gosh, yeah, it's all of they could have named him any name.
Yeah,
It's
but then
silly.
you could go that, okay, the baby that got smuggled out uh, was Jon Snow. Maybe he's the son of Rhaegar and Elia Martell.
And that's the promise me that she said.
Yeah, because we just assume that Ned was to take care of Lyanna's son or something, right?
Oh,
But we actually don't know a lot about what happened at that tower at all. It's just a fever dream. Everyone just assumes that there was a fight and Arthur Dane got killed by Howland Reed, and that Lyanna died during childbirth. That's people assuming things, but we don't know. All we know is that Howland Reed saved his life somehow, and that Lyanna was that she died seemingly, and that's it. Ned also says he tore down the Tower of Joy. You know how long it takes to tear down a tower?
oh yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, and then he also went straight to Dorne for some reason, and then back again.
Oh, dude,
So
so
it
just
does
hold.
not add up whatsoever.
You just blew my mind. If it's he is the son of Rhaegar and his wife, the legitimate son.
Yeah,
There is precedent in this story of a Targaryen married to a Martell and having a kid with dark hair. We have that with Baelor.
yeah,
So it's possible that, you have Maekar who has the Targaryen hair, but Baelor did not.
yeah,
And when in the War of the Roses, the twins in the tower, there is a rumor, though it's mostly really, really discounted by historians, but there was a pretender who allegedly had been smuggled out of the tower and survived and came back to try to take the or minor thing, take the throne. Like people took advantage of the situation to try to mess around with Henry VII. He ended up getting executed, I believe, and there was also one that was exiled. But there were some rumors that a twin in the tower was snuck out and replaced with like a servant boy. So that goes along with what you just said about what allegedly happened with Varys sneaking out the
Yeah,
cave.
and there's also a Tyrion runs into a septa when he's traveling in book 5, and the description kind of matches an older Lyanna Stark, and she does not behave like a septa whatsoever. So she's faking it, and she's traveling with that fake Aegon. Actually, she's part of that party. Interesting, yeah. And Tyrion sees her when she's bathing naked or something, and she has a scar that in modern day would be a C-section scar. Has some water.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we don't know shit about the Tower of Joy.
Okay, and let's talk a little bit also about the elephant in the room. Why did Varys do all that?
Because he's a Targaryen. I think. Well, this is like tinfoil hat thing, and I know this, but I think Varys is egg, because when egg is described, it's described as bold as an egg and blah blah blah. And in the first story of Duncan Egg, he's a lot of references to castration and egg, right?
My brother said he was going to make me a sister.
Yeah. In the second story, there's a lot of references to spider webs and spiders and egg, right?
Well, yeah, well, the Red Queen, or rather the Red Widow, it's there, so it's definitely present.
So you have castration and spider. Varys is called the spider. And Varys is described the same way as egg when you first meet him in the books. Bold as an egg. And how he got there, though, I don't know. But Varys seems to be very concerned with getting a Targaryen back on the throne. Yeah. And he's systematically been dismantling the Lannisters.
And Dexter, the child who plays Egg, accidentally, or he didn't accidentally because he's a boy, he just didn't shut up when Dunk, the actor who played Dunk, was trying to get him to shut up. He's like, oh yeah, George told us about Summerhall, and Dunk survives, and we don't know if Egg survives. And that's very interesting because we don't know if Egg survives. So George didn't tell him he survived. He says, we don't know if he's trying to keep a secret that it really is Egg is Varys. And part of the reason why I almost believe this theory is what we know about the sacrifice, the fact that when Summerhall happened, that he became like Daenerys, his own blood sacrifice, and became a fire right, or some sort of resurrection, or some sort of weird magic thing happened in that fire. And we see that Varys is kind of magical. He has like a glamour thing about him. So I kind of believe this theory, even though it's tinfoil hat. I just think it might be so. Their theory. Yeah, I know I guess we're now into storytelling mode. We're not into the myth. But I guess actually, let me before we continue, and I'll get this up. Steve, is there did you say about Samwell? Like, has Samwell got anything, or is that just a
Samwell is Heimdall, which is the Heimdall is the wisest and the palest of gods, of the gods. Palest can also be cowardly, right? He lives at the Bifrost Bridge, and he's referred to as the Watcher. and he will blow a horn to signal Ragnarok. Right? Sam Tarley is the smartest guy on the wall. He's well read, he's sharp as a razor. He's also a watcher, because a watcher on the wall, right? Night's Watch.
Yeah.
He happens to have a horn. Remember, he found a horn north of the wall?
No, but I suck because I haven't really read
Yeah.
the book. So.
They ignored it in the show after he found it. But so he's a watcher that has a horn. Bifrost Bridge is the wall, right?
Mm.
So, and here's another fun thing. He's born on a place called Horn Hill.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
That's something.
So,
Okay.
apparently he will kill Loki.
I think it was Ryan Kinnell. He said this when he was on my channel, and I agree with him that are we so stuck in this stuff and going in these directions because Martin's given us nothing but 15 years to do nothing else but think about it? Or is there something to it?
Yeah.
Or a little bit of both, maybe?
Yeah, probably. But it's also easy to, if you try to make stuff fit, you'll actively do it while ignoring what speaks against it. But personally, that Septa is a bit of a mystery because she was with Aegon, and obviously training him, and had been doing so since he was a boy. So that's 20 years, whatever, right?
And that's
Actually,
around all that time.
Yeah, the timeline fits. So who the hell is she? She's been there all along. So, and it's not Ashara Dane, because Ashara Dane had violet eyes and she doesn't. So it kind of just boils down to, is Lyanna alive? Could it be that she told Ned to say, yeah, promise me you'll tell everyone I'm dead?
Yeah.
Or, because she wants to get away from Robert, doesn't she?
Yeah. And what's the best way to do it? Be in disguise as a septa, the equivalent of going off and becoming a nun.
And raising, well, she's disguised as a septa.
Yeah.
I don't think she really is one, but
no, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's also, if that's true, then she would, be raising Rhaegar's son, which would definitely fit.
Yeah, especially if she's in love with him, and maybe she did have a baby and the baby died. I mean, because that happened all the time back then. Sorry, thank you, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Hey, keep it down. I can't see the road. Keep. Well, you know what? Keep your eyes on the road. But no, this is all good things. Okay, we do want to start wrapping this up. We've been going for about 2 hours, and I think we could go about for 10 more hours. But is there anything that we haven't brought up about the theme, apocalyptic literature and Norse mythology, etc., that you would like to add?
I can't think of any.
Yeah, like what did we miss? Did we miss any of the gods? Did we miss any of the major characters?
There's more gods, but they're not set in stone. We just don't know enough yet how they will fit. So, yeah.
All right. I think this play this summer is going to be the key, though, to a lot. My theory is he's ready to make an announcement about the Winds of Winter, because what went down at Harrenhal, something went down at Harrenhal that was maybe more than we think, more than just Rhaegal giving Lyanna the Queen of Love and Beauty, that there were some things that he wanted to hold off on. And because like the play was delayed, I remember it was supposed to be like a few years ago, and it's like, maybe they were doing that because there's some stuff that's going to be revealed. I don't know, because we're going to be seeing Ned and all that. I mean, how boring would that play be if it's just, hi, oh, look, I'm Ned. I'm at the tourney. I'm Robert. I'm at the tourney too. We're all at the tourney. And oh gosh, Rhaegal is going to hit on Lyanna. Oh gosh. I mean, what a boring play that would be. There's got to be some serious shit going down there that we don't know about that ties into A Song of Ice and Fire. That's my opinion. That's my tinfoil hat theory. But I think we can all agree that the minute that George R. R. Martin says it's finished and here's the release date, I think the world's going to go nuts.
Yeah. Well, we'll see when book 6 comes out if I got something right or if I completely got it wrong.
Yeah.
But hell, he's also rewritten a lot as well, which was partly why it's taken so long. I think he had to I think he said he had the stuff he has written so far. He's written twice.
Yeah.
Because he rewrote it.
Yeah. Though, again, I don't get. This is the one thing where I don't give him a break on. He needs to get this shit going. But I said last night on the stream when Tina was on, I said, if or when that announcement comes, I'm going to be like camped out at Barnes and Noble. Like, I'm not going to wait for it to arrive in the mail. It's going to be bigger, I think, than the midnight release of the final Harry Potter book, which was insane. I mean, me and my friends, we spent the whole day. We watched the movies. We went there. We dressed up and we stayed out there. But I'm like, I'm going to put a tent outside of Barnes and Noble. I mean, I'm just going to, it's going to be big. And then we're going to get the Fire and Blood ones and the other tie-in things that will, it'll be cool. It'll be really cool. The best thing that we have going on right now, though, is Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I just think that that's just all there is to it. So we can, I guess, enjoy that. But definitely House of the Dragon. I mean, House of the Dragon is the bed so badly. I mean, and it sounds like it's going to get really, really worse. The things that we're hearing and seeing and the idiotic things that Condal is saying, as we call him, or thought Condyloid. So, ooh, boy.
Yeah, House of the Dragon is dead. That show is just a travesty now.
Yeah.
And we warned against it when we saw season 2 and actually early in season 1 as well.
Yeah. There were early signs.
We got a lot of shit for it by people who are now very quiet and are not praising the show anymore.
Yeah. Well, people changed when Martin came out. Now, of course, I was very vindicated when Martin came out and said the exact same things we had all been saying, because it's like, come on, people, it's right there in front of you. The signs were in season 1. I say that one of the biggest things, this plot hole or issue that they created when they refused to kill off Rhaenyra's first husband, that they were, because they didn't want to do the trope of what, bury your gays. That was a mess up, and the way they did the things with the births, trying to make it all about feminism, and that was just stupid. And then, of course, Rhaenys bursting through the dragon pit. I mean, it just shit the bed there. And of course, the biggest mistake was making Rhaenyra and Alicent the same age. It's just a disaster. But in any case, so we're going to go ahead and wind up this party. We've been going for quite a while. I want to thank everyone that has been in the chat. Let's see. I always like to do this. We are nothing without you. We have Noodleman. Thank you. Iron Faith Philadelphia Outlaw, Hound 3000, Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective, Tina Bojan. Oh, wait. I need another one. Okay. Arsh Studios, Oliver 5, Gorilla's Random Thoughts, and all of you that have been lurking and coming in and out. I do appreciate you. Of course, all of my channel members, all of my musers of House Rose, and my sworn swords of House Rose. Thank you so much for your support. and you will get the shout outs. And as I continue to go, I mean, I'm just very, very humbled. I have more Sworn Sword is upcoming. I'm going to be continuing with that. And then I'm going to go straight into the Mystery Night. We're just going to do that. I will continue with Wuthering Heights eventually. I will get there, but pay attention because we are having March 15th is upcoming. March 15th is not just the Ides of March. It is Battle of the Plantar Fields Day for all who celebrate. So we will be reviewing and going through the Battle of the Plantar Fields. And then March 25th, woo, is coming up. The Destruction of the Ring. And on my Catholic Explaining channel, I will be doing a companion one to it with all the Catholic stuff associated with it. So I want to thank everyone for being here. Steve, is there anything that you would like to plug?
Well, you and I will be talking about the Magnificent Seven remake very soon.
Dude, we will be. Yes, we will. Likely
You
next.
literally forgot about me when you plugged everything you're supposed to do.
I know. I'm so terrible. I'm sorry.
I'll be upset for 3 more seconds, and then I'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the great thing about men. If it was a woman, you'd hold the grudge for 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's all right. Yeah. So, mea maxima culpa. And maybe I'll do a St. Patrick's Day thing. I don't know. I did one last year. You know, everyone loves St. Patrick's Day, but then everyone hates me because I actually do the history of St. Patrick, and they're like, "This is no fun." It's like, well, yeah, sorry. I mean, dude was 5th century saint. They didn't exactly sit around, and they definitely didn't drink beer. Well, they did drink beer, but they didn't party like the way we do. St. Patrick would be disgusted with you all. He is judging you from on high, up in the beatific vision. But so there's going to be that, and any musings that I come across. Harry Potter eventually I'll get to. I mean, we're gonna get loads of content with that. I don't even know if I'm gonna bother watching House of the Dragon. Yeah. So I don't know. So Steve, so now that I've gone through again why I've forgotten you, I forgot then ask if there's anything else that's coming up besides our Cowboy Campfire, the Magnificent Seven review.
No, not that I know of.
Yeah, next month you'll be doing what year with Mara?
Favorite movies from 2009. So when we're like top 10 favorite movies from 2009. So when we're done that, we will have done 3 decades. Because we started with 1980. So we will definitely be doing half of the 2010s, but after 2015, we're not sure because so much shit has come out since then that we're not sure if we even have 10 movies we like.
Yeah, you're right. Let alone ones that are favorites. That oh gosh, movies just started to suck. Wait, but if you started 3 decades, so you've been doing it for 2.5 years.
Yeah, but I think we skipped 1 month, maybe.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. That's how long you've been. This has been an ongoing stream, and so that's impressive, most impressive. And if you are interested in Catholic content, you can go to my Catholic Explaining, and I help me maybe get some watch hours so I can get that one monetized. I got some Tolkien content over there, but obviously of the religious nature. And good times. I just love it. I just love fantasy. I love being here, and I love talking with it because the world sucks, and we need something happy. Stay tuned for more Teresa travels. I will be traveling again and doing some really cool things. I was going to say pretty much you don't make the rounds anymore. I mean, back then I'm trying to think of any other stream. I mean, sometimes you might find them on the Sporking channel talking Song of Ice and Fire, but
yeah, no, I'm not on YouTube much at all anymore.
Yeah. Yep. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close this thing out. I want to thank everyone. Thank you for being here. And those that will be watching on the replay, let me know in the comments what you think, and go into more research with all of this. As I said, this isn't necessarily something that we came up with magically with any secret knowledge. It's out there. But analogies that we definitely experienced as we were reading it, just because it's part of us. This literature, the Norse for Stieg, and the Bible stuff for me. So Have a great day, everyone. Have a great day. And be certain to read good fantasy and don't watch crap.